This is the first edition of What Does Your Film Taste Like here at 2004 Talent Campus. It's an exploration of the other senses as well as other concepts in filmmaking. So we're interested in the intricacies of what inspires you. Film is an audiovisual medium. That's only two of the senses.
Yeah.
As filmmakers, don't we want to give our audiences a full sensory experience? And so, if we do, shouldn't we consider the taste, the smell, and the texture of film?
Funny question.
I was afraid you were about to ask that.
So tell me, what does your film taste like?
Oh, yeah. I think about it for 2 days or 3 days, and I have to say it's like wasabi of sushi.
Do you know the fruit, mandarin?
Yeah.
Great piece of candy that you find and that's been in your pocket for like 5 years and is still great, and like right when you need it you're like, oh my god, there it is. So it is actually that kind of satisfying for your audience.
¿A qué sabe? A sal.
The whole meal is based on skin and water, you know.
Some especially pungent cheese or something.
Rather cold and dry, like a shot of vodka, I guess.
Whiskey. My first instinct was to say it tastes bitter.
Like blood, but not in the bad way, in the good way. Blood like life.
The scent of dried flowers.
It could, I don't know if I can say, but it could also smell like sperm, like something really organic and really full of life.
A little bit like smoke, because, you know, what I was trying to get through with the film is like, there's trouble in this company, so where there's smoke, there's fire. It's just like the film is trying to ask, where is that fire located? So
We wouldn't be the first, because wasn't Castle films in the 50s had the sense around and the things that would shock you.
Texture? I never thought about that. Texture, really.
Touch water or to feel leaves.
Just a kind of snow.
Do you consider taste, smell, and touch when you're preparing a character?
Yes. You cannot separate anything of these at all.
As long as it tastes differently by the end, then that's, in a way, I guess that's what's important, is that it changes. I've come to notice.
When did you first recognize the existence of other countries? This is a reflection on your childhood.
Actually, by watching movies.
My first really major trip abroad was when I was in high school, and I went to the Soviet Union, when it still was the Soviet Union. I was traveling around with this huge group of people, and it was all students, and it was sort of this friendship exchange. And it was amazing just to see the very stark contrast between how we lived and how they lived, and how much they were so gracious and so apologetic for how they lived.
I very clearly remember the first time I recognized that I was black and people were not.
In Mexico, to having that connection with your own culture comes immediately because of the archaeological places, maybe, or the history that you'll see in the people. And when I saw that, I realized that there was something around me, and then immediately I realized that there was something even bigger, not just around me, but surrounding all of us.
I guess when I was 8, and I was in another country, you know, the U.S. As a child, I felt the different roads and different atmosphere.
Arregla zapatos. Entonces, le llegaban zapatos de diferentes personas que habían recorrido el mundo.
I'm still thinking about that because I grew up very remote on a village in the Bavarian countryside, so there's no other culture around normally.
His father used to fixed shoes, and she started watching the trademarks or the trademarks. It's okay of the kinds of shoes because lots of people from around the world gave him their shoes so he can fix them, so he could fix them, and she usually liked to watch the shape of the shoe and the trademark, and she was discovering the other countries like that. She was 5 or 6 years old.
What is your earliest memory of cinema, and do you see yourself repeating that memory perhaps in your own work?
It's difficult. My father took me to E.T.
Star Wars.
Yeah, that was, whoa. Suddenly this, E.T. was amazing. Like, I was crying like 2 hours after the movie. It definitely had a certain reflection in my life.
I'm sure that I have, and I just haven't noticed because I'm always looking back at things and realizing where I stole things. Or
I didn't like narrative stories, but Star Wars is very special for me, for my artistic intentions.
Yeah, I remember one, The Gods Must Be Crazy. Yeah, at a very young age, and that's how I liked film.
Children's cinema, the children movie, the Russian children movie about the fairy tales.
So my earliest possible memory is watching this huge shark mouth coming at you.
I don't know exactly, but a long time ago when I was just 9 or 10, it was illegal in just adult cinema. But I did. I was successful. I don't know how I get in, but anyway, it was really thrilling and suspense, like a suspense movie, because I watched adult movie. Really, to me at the time, it was a hardcore because I saw the sex scene.
Well, my grandmother is dead now. She was a great woman. She took me there by a car from Mexico City to there. It's like 4,000 kilometers. So.
I feel like I saw Apocalypse Now over the course of 5 years in like 3-minute increments because it was always on TV like late at night, like local Boston channel 38 or 56 or something, and it seemed to me the most like unbelievably huge movie because I would always see little bits of it and then I'd have to go to bed or my parents would turn off the TV or something, and I couldn't believe that one movie had all of these elements.
How old were you?
3, 4 years old, something like that. 6 años.
12. Then maybe since I was 12 or 13, cinema became like something sacred.